Hello, welcome to this video. This video I'm gonna show you one of my club games, played at my local club in classical time control. It was the last game from this season. Now there's a summer break and the next season starts in September. But earlier I didn't really analyze my club games, but I'm starting that now. And I'm gonna share it with you, so please let me know in the comments what you think of this game. It started out as a Sicilian. We got a Moscow variation. Normally I see queen takes the most. I was not too familiar with this move. Most of the times they take with the queen. So yeah, I know some basic plans, but that was enough to get a good position and a playable mid-game. Black took a lot of time in the opening. Well, I could make some natural looking moves, so that was not too hard for me. This is a flexible move. Black has two main options when it comes to the pawn structure. If they go for a g6 setup, we want to go for c3 with a quick d4. If they want to go for an e6 setup, we want to play b3 and then c4 later. So black goes for g6. It's not the most common move. Black plays knight gf6 like 92% of the time in master games, and about 85% in my Lichess database. I expected the knight move and play queen e2. Since black reveals the pawn structure, then I can go safely for c3. So for example, knight gf6, e2. Here we stay flexible with the pawn structure, and the f1 rooks want to go to the d file and stay on the f file if we go for the f4 break. So that's one of the ideas behind queen e2. But at the time of playing, I actually forgot this move, and I also was a bit confused because black delayed the knight gf6, but since he already played g6, I thought I can go for c3 setup safely. So the next couple of moves are not that easy. This I thought was a bit of a weird move. I didn't really understand it. I know this is a good waiting move in an earlier setup. So let's say it's a waiting move if black goes for this, then that, and then rook c8. So here black keeps delaying the definition of the pawn structure. But here in the game it didn't make a lot of sense to me. Actually, I was expecting knight gf6, so black and castle, and I don't see a really good reason to delay this move. I thought maybe he was afraid of e5, but then this should be okay-ish for black. Looks a bit weird to me, so maybe black was afraid of this. So back to the game. I can continue with my usual moves. C6 also was not that clear to me. Well, it's clear that he wants some action on the C file, but what exactly I couldn't see. So I played rook e1. I spent quite a lot of time on this move. Of course, I want to develop my dark square bishop soon, but I first wanted to wait what black is doing, what black is going to do. I still expected knight gf6 soon, so I thought the rook e1 is a useful move anyway, to have some extra defender on e4. In hindsight, with more knowledge about the opening, maybe playing queen e2 at some point was better, because then I also have extra defender of the b2 pawn. I was looking at playing bishop e3 here, but then I saw some ghosts. I thought black was going for knight b6 and threatened to play knight c4 to harass my bishop and attack the b2 pawn. And then playing b3 is not an option because this knight is weak. So I wasn't too keen on that, so I thought waiting is better. Then I see what black is going to do with his knight. So black played e5. I was really shocked when I saw this. I mean, black king is still in the center. His knight is not developed. So to me, it's not the right time to open up the position from a strategic standpoint. Also gives me a juicy outpost on d5. Black has a weak pawn on d6, and if black takes on d4, the pawn becomes even weaker. I couldn't find any tactical reasons behind this move. Then I played h3, also a waiting move. I noticed it's the second time I make a waiting move, so maybe I have to work on that, because waiting moves are not really always that good, especially not when you're ahead in development or have a better position. I missed a very nice opportunity here to take on e5. And then I have knight b5 to have a fork on this pawn. So let's check. Yeah, I thought h3 was because I was still expecting knight gf6, and then I still wanted to develop my bishop to e3. So my logic was, then black cannot harass me with knight g4. So I thought, yeah, h3 I'm gonna play anyway at some point, so or I make it now and see what black does. But I think I should have played more active, put some more pressure. What I did was too much hope chess, I think. So what I missed was this. Then black takes this. Then we have knight b5, queen d8, knight d6, and we win the exchange. I was curious what happens if black takes with the knight. Then we still have this threat. Then black can do this. And as you see, we still have the fork. So that is a missed opportunity for me. A tactical one, so practice more tactics. Back to the game. So the worst move for black he played. At first I was happy, but at some point I thought I made a blunder. I thought if I take on d4 with a knight, then black has queen b6 IDs to double attack my knight. If I then move my knight back, then black has IDs to take my knight, and I take with the pawn, and then he takes with the rook. So I thought I blundered here. I also, after queen b6, I thought I cannot defend with bishop e3 because then black take my b pawn. But it turns out there are tactical reasons black cannot take the b pawn. But I didn't see those during the game. What I did see is that after queen b6, I can play knight b5. Let me check that with the computer. Yes, that's a safe move. So this move I did see during the game, so I was very relieved that I didn't make a blunder. So let's check if I did give up the b2 pawn. Then we have this variation. This is the computer and not me. Discovered the attack on the queen. And yeah, still pretty good. So I was also a bit scared of this. If I retreated my my knight, and the computer gives this. Yeah, for me this is not. I could never find this myself, but okay. I'm not a computer. But black didn't go for queen b6, but played a6. So black probably saw my idea of saving the threat with knight b5. Then in the game I didn't know exactly what to do, so I thought for a long time. I played this move. I put my knight on an outpost. My thought behind this move was that this is the square the knight wants to go to, because it's an outpost. I also felt like I have to be active, aggressive in the center, because black king is still not castled, and he's also like 2 moves away from castling, because he has to develop his knight first. And besides that, it prevents queen b6, so then I can develop my bishop to e3 more safely. According to the computer, of course, I missed a tactic here. And the tactic is that I give 2 knights for a rook and 2 pawns. Let's see, what is the tactic again? It is, sorry. Yeah, it's sacrificing a knight. I think this is called a reloader the tactical theme. Of course, the threat is to take on d6 and fork the king and the rook. So you do it once and then the square becomes free for the second knight. Rook b8. And here we gave up 2 knights for a rook and 2 pawns. But I didn't see that in the game. So it was knight d5. My position still is good here, by the way. Black played rook queen b8. His queen now is a bit out of the action. But it's the only defender of d6. So I developed. Here I also was thinking for a long time. I was thinking of retreating my knight so I can put it on his nice outpost later. It felt kind of bad to give up the outpost, and if I do nothing and I have to retake with the pawn, it's also not good for me because we both have isolated pawns, and it's also harder to attack the weak pawn on d6. So yeah, I thought knight c3 is not it's not that good, so I took on e7. My reason behind this was that I thought black is losing his castle rights, and the d6 pawn is still a nice target. And in the future I can maybe reroute this knight to d5, and of course the most nice thing for me would be to eliminate black's knight. So I developed here. I defend b2, so I have to watch out less for threats from the bishop. I also make room for my rook to finally go to the c file, and my plan was then to play b3 later, and then I have no worries about that pawn. So black is want to come to castle by hand. I played f3, so I don't have to worry about that pawn. King f8, develop. I continue with my plan. Rerouting the knight to the outpost. Black is putting an extra defender on d6. So here at this point I was thinking of potential forks on f6 or e7. The dark squares around black's king can become weak. So my plan was try to exchange the bishops. So the dark squares become even weaker, and I can maybe have some mating threats. This move I didn't expect. I expected black to take my bishop. So here I thought, okay, what can I do? My pieces are quite nice here. So make some room on the king side. Try to open the h file. Create some attacking potential. So this move I missed. I honestly thought I was screwed here. because black, I thought black had the move bishop h6, and then my bishop is pinned to the king, so I can't take it. So I was a bit scared, but then at some point I realized, oh, okay, I have knight. I also have my knight defending that square. So another tactical calculation error in my head. But black retreated his queen. Got my king out of the pin. So the knight is, I think, is going for e6. Some extra defense over there. So I still have a potential fork on f6. So I thought exchanging the bishop. He can't move the bishop back to f8, and I have a fork. So black has to retreat. There's no other option. Except for this move, of course. Here I saw some tactical ideas. I took on g7. So black has to take with the king. Because I have a knight fork on f6. So black took with the king. Then I saw a nice tactical idea. I played rook takes c6. Because I saw some mating threats here with queen c3. But I really wasn't sure what to do after king h6. But then I thought, I calculated this far, and then I thought if black goes to h6, and I spent some time on calculating, but I can't find the killing blow, then I still have the pawn to win, so my position is good anyway. But here black resigned. So that was a surprise to me, because I thought after king h6 there's still some room for play. But black was low on time. It was already late, so the energy was also gone. Only problem I saw, by the way, with taking the pawn is rook c8. I thought this was maybe a bit dangerous to allow the rook on a c-file. But yeah, it's still +3 according to the computer for me. But in a practical game, I don't know. Looks a bit scary to allow this. But I was happy with the win. Here is black resigned, so yeah, pretty nice game with some tactical opportunities I missed. I think black also missed a lot, but yeah, I had a very good position in this opening, even when I didn't know the opening that well. So that is also for me the nice thing about this repertoire and some of the openings like this. So please let me know what you think of the game and the video. If you like it, consider subscribing. It would help my channel a lot. And my next club game recap will be next season. So see you in some other videos. Bye bye.